you're working a lot during this pandemic. How mind frame? Talk to me about how you get up to go into these spaces and do what you do so well.
Well, thank you so much for the compliment. And the good news is that they want me to come in and do these things. In September, I started back work during, just after the big hype of COVID and people were sort of settling into it, because I had done a Quibi series that we had not finished yet. So we finished that series just the week before Quibi went out of business completely. So we were doing a series called Swimming with Sharks, which was a remake of a Kevin Spacey movie called Swimming with Sharks, but with all women, Diane Kruger, me, and I forget the young lady's name, but anyway, and I started there, and then suddenly, boom, then Run the World came up because I'd done the pilot. Yvette Lee Bowser, who was the creator of Living Single, invited me to do this character, Barb Ballard, and Lee Davenport is the creator of the show. And they said, we have a part that we think that only you can do, Erika, will you come do it? And I said, sure. So we had done the pilot, and they said that they were going to start up again. So then in October, I took off to New York to start to do that. And then just after that finished, I did Wu-Tang and started that up again. And then
That's
I'm
right.
now in, I did a movie with Epics with Ali Leroy's director in New Orleans, that I just finished with Derek Luke. And then I flew to Chicago, and I'm starting a new series with Elizabeth Moss on Apple called Ripple Effect. So there you go.
Wait, hold on. Time out. First of all, okay. I'm gonna start from the back. Elizabeth Moss, who right now I can't stand because I'm caught up on the damn Handmaid's Tale because I came back in. I said I wasn't gonna watch it, and because of Trump, I was like, I can't watch it during Trump. I'm gonna watch it after Trump, and then I got back in after. I was like, why am I doing this to myself? She has to be. She's in the top 5 of the best actresses right now. This woman,
she's killing it.
And so, like, when does she? So, what are y'all playing?
I am playing a newspaper editor, and this is about missing women and girls. And so this is her new series. She's actually executive producing it as well. I think as a young woman, she's done so well that she can now call those shots. And they invited me to play the editor of a newspaper she's working at.
That's awesome.
Damn. All right.
I want to ask you a question though, Erika,
Sure.
please. So you say you just did a movie with Derek Luke. Please tell me that you kissed those lips. Please tell me that you kissed those lips.
I did, but only briefly, because the movie has us going through marital problems. So we're married, and it's a Blumhouse movie. So Blumhouse does the horror genre, but this is not a horror. This is more of a psychological thriller. And, I can tell you the premise is that we're a family, and a nuclear family, Black family, that's going through some issues, and then society collapses around us, and we have to take shelter at our neighbor's house in the bunker. And so there you go.
Also, because he has the best list. So let me tell you, I'm a fan.
Gorgeous
let me introduce myself to you. Oh, great. I'm a comedian. My name is Flame Monroe, and I didn't grow up. I was already grown watching Living Single. I did not miss Living Single. I so much the banter between you and T.C. Carson's character. That was so me, always back and forth with somebody. But when you guys got together in a relationship, it made me fall in love with the show even more. I absolutely miss us, the stories about us, and the situations that Black people actually encounter daily that a lot of white people wouldn't know because you're on the outside looking in. I love that Yvette Lee Bowser exposed that and shows so much before it's time. First of all, the show was great, and Max was a bitch. I loved him. Let me tell you, when I say Max was a bitch, I mean in a good way, because she was so independent and strong in who she was. And if more Black women empowered themselves the way Max did, but Max was also difficult to be in a relationship with because she wanted to give it up, but she had to always be in control. Are you like that for real? Are you always have to be in control? Seriously?
Well, Flame, I'm a little bit like Max, and thank you so much for the compliment, because I really enjoyed doing that show. And actually, T.C. Carson and I are born on the same day. We're both November 19th Scorpios, so we have that in common. And it was really
that's
great.
My grandmother's birthday.
Is that real? Oh, well, look, then we were meant to be here right now. But the thing about comedy is, if you find a partner that you can go back and forth with, it's like dancing, Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. You hope for people you have chemistry with. And we had great chemistry on that show, all around as ensemble. But when they started to see that T.C. Carson's character, Kyle and Max, were mixing it up, and the audience loved it. They start to write toward it, and the next thing you know, we were a pair, of lovebirds, hate birds, that type of thing. So that was great. I'm not like my character completely, but I think if I'm like you or Karen, a Black woman who I think feels like they don't want to be. It's not told what to do. When you know better and you know what you're doing, you want to be respected, and you don't want to be in a space where you're led, and you're a leader. So I like to believe that that's exactly what she was, and she led. And I also thought she was fair, but she was tough. She was tough, and she was often wrong. She was wrong, but she was wrong in such a way that you loved her. A lot.
Oh,
Wrong.
my episode that I can remember right now, like I'm looking at it vividly, was when you woke up in the bed with Kyle. Oh my God, that was the funniest shit. Oh my God.
You know what? Filming that, you have to know they put a screen in front of us because, of course, the studio audience is over there, and then they want to do the big reveal, and they move the screen, and then they turn on the cameras, and there we are. And I have to say, my heart was going a mile a minute, beating like that. But they laughed and screamed so hard, you can't tell, but we had to hold for a very long time before we could even speak, because the audience would just be going nuts. And so they were anticipating it just as much as we were. But, Yvette Lee Bowser really wrote that show very well. The relationships between the women and also the roommates above, but also the separate identities. That's kind of hard to do, and she did it well. And she does it well in Run the World.
I was going to just say, Run the World. I am so in love with this show because it reminds me of Girlfriends and Living Single. And she's been, the way the characters, each lady has their own not just identity, but you can relate to all of them. I relate to the one who's identifying as a Taurus. I don't know if she's really a Taurus. The one that's getting divorced. Her real husband was on the show a few weeks ago, Nick Jones Jr. But they are off the chain, and you coming in is like a perfect, it's just like how did she do that with the chemistry? Do you guys have to test with each other? Because it seems like the chemistry is amazing. And now I found out Tanya Pinkins is going to be on. She's on my show every Wednesday.
I love
she's
Tanya
playing
Pinkins.
the mother. Yeah, she's off the chain. She's my Wellness Wednesday host with me.
That's a Broadway diva, baby. That's a Broadway diva.
Well, you know what? There's so much talent that's being underused. The fact that Tanya Pinkins is not everywhere is what's the thing. But the fact that, Lee Davenport and Yvette Lee Bowser know to, insert her and put her someplace where she could do her thing. It's a gift. Here's what Yvette Lee is known for. She's known for creating enviable female relationships. That's her thing. She actually coined that, enviable female relationships. And I think that she's really hit it out the park. I didn't know that was a thing, but when you look at relationships that are on TV and you can see them in different types of reality shows, there's not necessarily things that people envy. They may be things that people watch, but they don't necessarily go, well, I want to do that. She wants to create things that are individual and independent, but not combative with each other. These people mesh with each other. So do we have to read with chemistry? I didn't know. I was invited to do this thing and sort of be the boss of Andrea Bordeaux, who plays Ella. And by the way, I got to say something about it. I was watching the show and I cut it off a few times because these girls get down so hard on the sex. I ain't never seen stuff like that, with these types of women. So part of what I envy about them is I used to say that Maxine Shaw was well within her sensual space. She knew she was a woman and she conducted herself as a free woman, with sex and all that. She didn't apologize for it. But these women take it a whole step further. So I got to give them props. They're doing all sorts of stuff. And that to me is enviable, that they know themselves and they are living. They are not, they're not working and they're living their lives. It's fabulous.
That was a show I didn't expect. And it is a guilty pleasure. And I absolutely love it. 866-801-8255. Flame Monroe is here. Erika the Great.
Wait a minute. Speaking of living, tell Yvette Lee Bowser, I got an idea for let's do a show called Living Tranny.
That's awesome. Yes, you should know it.
Living Tranny. I must be Queen Latifah's part. Living Tranny. No, I'm just cutting up, y'all.
No, but that would be a great show. And she would write the hell out of it. I promise you.
I know she would. I know she would.